first time since Minneapolis 2019, fans are back in the house for X Games Summer Edition. We also have a brand new home on the coast of California, just a bit north of Los Angeles, in the beautiful city of Ventura. This is X Games 2023 and Thayer's BMX Dirt Elimination. Welcome everyone inside the booth. I'm Jimmy Coleman alongside Scotty Kramer as always. And well, when you talk about BMX Dirt, one of the top stories we have to mention, David Godziak. He's on a very short list of riders who's won this thing more than once, and he's your defending gold medalist.
Absolutely amazing bike rider, and I use that term bike rider because he can ride everything. Not only is he an X Games gold medalist in BMX Dirt, but he's an amazing mountain bike rider as well, and his ability to transfer those tricks from the mountain bike to the BMX bike has been really amazing to watch.
Another rider to watch out for, Ryan Williams. He owns X Games golds in Big Air, BMX Park Best Trick, and recently he just added another gold medal in BMX Mega Park. However, today he makes his debut in BMX Dirt.
Yeah, so this is first time riding dirt, and we're all really excited to see how his talents transfer over from the Mega Ramp to the dirt. But from watching practice, these jumps are huge. Ryan only knows how to go big, and I think we're in for an amazing contest today.
Well, today's all about elimination. It's a big task. 16 riders, only the top 8 moving on into the final. Before we get it started, let's check in with the third member of our team, Kristen Beat, who's up on top of the roll-in.
And of those 16 riders, only 3 are returning gold medalists. One of those, Kevin Peraza. He made his X Games debut back in 2013. That was 10 years ago. I asked him, what's kept you in the game? He said, new faces, pushing the next generation. It is all heart for the rider who we will also see competing in BMX Park and BMX Street. Later today, he last won gold in BMX Dirt back in 2016, Jimmy.
Thank you, Kristen. Yeah, there's a couple of guys in this list that are wearing multiple hats out here. Mike Vargas competing in multiple events. You got Daniel Sandoval, who's competing in pretty much all of the BMX events with the exception of Street. And of course, Ryan Williams, he's in 4 events as well. So there's quite a few riders in this lineup that are working double duty out here today. We also have a couple of X Games rookies in the field as well. And by the way, going back into the X Games history books right here, the rookies have it a bit tough because in the years that this event has been contested, only 7 of them have ever taken X Games gold, or X Games medals, I should say, in dirt, and 2 of those have only ever taken gold, Scotty.
Yeah, but we have some amazing rookies that are very talented. I mean, they were able to make it into the X Games from their performances in the other dirt competitions throughout the year. I mean, I'll just talk about Brady Baker straight away. He's an X Games rookie, a kid that grew up riding at my skate park, someone I actually rode with every single day, and not only did I help him progress, but he helped progress me at the same time. So to be able to see him riding dirt today is going to be absolutely amazing, and let me just tell you, he has the tricks to do it.
Okay, so you have 4 different jumps to contend with here. You come down that roll and you've got that first hit with a 10-foot lip and a 27-foot gap into a 20-foot gap, another 27-footer, and then a 14-foot gap. And we started off with one of our rookies. This is Caden Stone.
Wow, sending the twister on the first set into the double tail whip. A nice cash roll.
I mean, to be a rookie and come out and have to be the first guy to ride. I mean, I say rookie, he competed in Mega Park already, but man, what an X Games that young man is having right there. Youngest BMX athlete at X Games California. Wow.
And it's always hard to be the first rider out there, especially when it's your rookie right there. But wow, what he was able to do on that first run, he's got to be so proud of. I mean, that twister alone on that first set, doing that cork crazy looking 1080 spin, being able to get the bike around and land back underneath of you, and then he was able to do the cash roll as well on the third jump, which was a great first run.
To be the first guy out of the gate and go send that, I mean, that was huge right there. By the way, they're working off of a 100-point scale. They get 2 runs out here today. It is the best run that counts. As I mentioned at the top of the show, only the top 8 are moving on, so that is a daunting task out here today. We're cutting the field in half, but way to go, Caden Stone, and welcome to BMX Dirt at the X Games.
So 73-6.
So taking a look up top here, Declan Brooks coming up next. This is his 4th X Games appearance. We typically have seen him in Park in the past. He is your BMX Park bronze medalist from the Olympics, but he makes his debut in BMX Dirt today.
Oh, look at that beautiful cork 7 360-foot no-hander. Front flip Superman on the second set. Nice one-handed X up 360, and then the front flip tail whip over the last jump.
I mean, to end on that one, and what a landing they had right there. I mean, Declan Brooks, welcome to BMX Dirt. His best finish was Park in 2022 at X Games Chiba, where he just missed the podium, and there you go. He puts one down here in Thayer's BMX Dirt Elimination.
So being known to be a park rider and to be able to bring all of those tricks into a dirt setup is a completely different kind of, it's a whole different game. It really is. These jumps are huge compared to what he's used to working with a box jump.
So a 73.66 is what Caden Stone checked in with there as we await the score here for Declan. I mean, our first 2 runs in, I mean, the judges have their work cut out for him out here today, Scotty.
I mean, we were saying it earlier, there's 16 riders, and every single one of these riders belong on this right here. They're all ready to bring their best version of their run and see if they can make the cut. It's going to be an amazing contest.
So Declan's going to end up with a 71.33, so Caden Stone stays in that top spot for now as we get ready to take our first look at another X Games rookie, and this is one that you mentioned just a few minutes ago. Toms River, New Jersey's Brady Baker rolling it in for the first time.
Go, Brady! Brady starting things off with that flip double whip into a cash roll bar spin. 360 no-hander on the third. Into a 720 bar spin over the last set right there.
Did you see when he got around the first rotation in the 7 and how casually he threw those bars around?
It's funny you say that because
Wow.
I literally was just talking to him yesterday. He's like, do you remember that one video you did when you did the 720 bar spin and you were filming with Corey in the backyard? You did the bar spin in the second rotation. Because of that, I started doing it in my second rotation. And I think that's the most aggressive way of doing it, waiting until the last rotation to send the bar spin. But that was a really, really nice run.
I mean, it was picture perfect. I mean, he got around, just went, throw the bars now.
And he actually just learned those 720s recently. So just think about that.
I'd say it's pretty dialed in, like he's been doing those for years right there. He was the winner of the BMX Triple Challenge in Nashville, Tennessee in April of this year. Finished 5th at the Triple Challenge in Glendale, Arizona. What's it going to be for Brady Baker? We're into the 80s. He gets an 83 flat. So the X Games rookie finds himself at the top here in the early part of round number 1 here in Thayer's BMX Dirt Elimination. So again, it's 16 riders in the field out here today. As we mentioned before, it's a 100-point scale. You only get 2 opportunities at it. That is it. It is your best run that counts, and only the top 8 are moving on into that final tomorrow afternoon. And talk about some of the things that the judges are going to be looking for in that criteria, Scotty.
So the judges are going to be looking for, style, originality. They're going to be looking at the level of difficulty of the tricks as well. That's going to be the most important thing, but they want to keep it clean. You want to make sure these guys are riding within the landings, getting the right pump, and not having to struggle, getting over it or pedal, trying to make up speed.
Okay, so we got 2 rookies in the top 2 spots. You got Brady Baker and Caden Stone. So we bring in a veteran right here. This is Australia's Andy Buckworth. He owns a gold in BMX Dirt Best Trick. And he steps out with a double backflip, no-hander on the first set.
Unbelievable start to a run. This is prelims, but you got to remember, these guys are going X Games mode. 2 double backflips in 1 run.
You just bookended it right there. In talking in practice yesterday with some of these guys, they were coming down the rolling and they were having a little bit of trouble. There was a bit of a tailwind and they were having some struggles right there. They would kind of overshoot that first set and having trouble with the speed on the second set. But Andy Buckworth made short work of that.
It was just amazing. His rotation came around so perfect. I mean, to be able to do that on the first set, and he took his hands off. They went off really far as well. But look, he lands in that landing perfect.
Look at it right now. Listen to him. He just rode by us screaming, "Let's go! Let's go!"
I don't blame him. I'd be doing the same thing if I landed a double backflip no-hander. Anybody that knows me knows I have a terrible, terrible track record with that trick. Just the double backflip, not the no-hander part, that is.
And that's, I mean, he does those in shows. He can do those. He can pretty much do those double backflips anywhere he wants.
Yeah, I wouldn't even doubt a curb cut at this point.
So what's he going to be here? Judge is still talking this one over. So Andy Buckworth is going to check in with an 84. That's 1 full point ahead of Brady Baker right there. So the Australian finds himself in the top spot here. Nicely done by Andy Buckworth. So taking a look up top here at Brian Fox making his return to the X Games. His last appearance was X Games Minneapolis in 2019. Welcome back to the party here, Brian Fox. He is in for his first of 2 attempts.
Brian Fox, he sends that double backflip. I know that he's been nervous about doing that. He had a rough crash in one last year. Sending the front flip on the long and low. Oh, it doesn't look like he got the rotation around on that one.
Yeah, it looked like he came up a little short over that second feature right there, and I'm actually surprised that he got around on hit number 3 right there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with front flips. I know that's his trick that he was going to be doing on that one anyway, but the front flip, you could try to sacrifice, you know, not riding all the way up the lip and throwing your body over to get that rotation, but going into that fourth one with that kind of a mentality, like, he wasn't going to have a ton of speed. But Brian's a really good rider, and I know he's really amped up on just getting that double backflip alone. So we'll see him in run number 2.
Yeah, August of 2022, he actually fractured his T12 vertebrae after over-rotating a double backflip. So that is a big injury to come back from. So happy to see him back in the lineup here. So Brian, that one's going to be a throwaway for him. That puts him down there sub 40 with a 39.66. So again, this is round 1 out of 2 here. Thayer's BMX Dirt Elimination. 16 riders, half the field moving on into the final. Our next competitor we are set to see here hails from Sao Paulo, Brazil. This is Leandro Moreira.
We're about to see a guy that goes absolutely huge and tons of style. Look at that flip whip to turn down. Nice 360 double tail whip. Back whip in the long and low. Into a triple tail whip.
I mean, those first 2 hits right there, I mean, that was a pretty good 1-2 combo right there to start off that run.
Absolutely. I love the way he does that combination with the flip whip and then that late turn down right there. Nobody does that one, and especially the way he does it as well. He clicks into it with such power. It's amazing.
Yeah, there was no hesitation in that whatsoever, and he hangs on to it. I mean, you can see it clear as day. So again, our top 2 scores in 84-83 as of right now. Andy Buckworth and Brady Baker sitting in those top 2 spots here. Lots of riding still to go here. 2 runs, best run counts out here at Thayer's BMX Dirt Elimination. See what the score comes in here. So still waiting on that score for Leandro. We've got Jake Leva on deck. So the judge is talking this one over, so he's going to check into the 80s as well. That'll put him in the top 3 as of right now. That'll slide him into that number 3 spot between Brady Baker and Caden Stone. So nicely done right there by Mr. Moreira with 1 more run to go for him. Coming up next, we've got Jake Leva on course here out of Tehachapi, California.
Starting things off with the flip double tail whip into 360 double downside tail whip. Oh, he lost the pedals. So like we were talking in the last one, as a very aggressive 2-hit combination right there. So that was 2 double tail whips, but they were both opposite directions on the first 2 sets right there.
So again, the best score you can get per run is 100. Andy Buckworth sitting in that top spot as of right now with that 84 flat, followed by Brady Baker with that 83, and the Brazilian Leandro Moreira sitting in the number 3 spot. Well, everyone is stoked on X Games' new home here in Ventura, California. Right now, let's hear from Kevin Peraza and how excited he is to have fans back in the house in this Discover More presented by Pacifico.
I'm Kevin Peraza. I am 28 years old. I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Fun is the name of the game when it comes to Kevin Peraza.
So the last few years of X Games have been a little bit different with the pandemic, yet really incredible with everyone and all the level of riding. But I'm looking forward to this new venue in Ventura, California. More crowd, more people, feeding off the energy, which is something I thrive off of.
That smile's just infectious.
One thing that I truly enjoy about riding a new course is just finding things that are not normally ridden.
Pedal grind up and over the roller. He's so creative, he's so talented.
I want to be a highlight, I want to be able to stand out and show my personality through my riding, through the tricks that I decide to do and how I do them. Win or lose, my goal is to always treat people to something different, unique, and my personal flavor to it all.
Another impressive ride for Mr. Kevin Peraza.
Well, you're going to see some of that unique flair when we get to the park and street events. I saw him in practice over there yesterday, and he was looking pretty impressive on the park course. However, he's no slouch here on dirt either. He owns a gold medal in this event that he got in 2016 back in Austin. As you heard Krista mention earlier, it's Kevin Peraza.
Kevin's got so much style. Look at that 360 whip to late invert. Oh, man. Almost lost a bike. He's trying to get through it.
That was pretty impressive to get over those last 2 after he had to dab the foot right there.
Yeah, that was
some
crazy
speed
there.
management right there. It's tough, though, because you only get 2 runs here in this elimination round, so that's going to put the pressure on him in round number 2.
But still, as we were saying earlier, he's just got such a great energy. He's got that smile on his face all the time. He's just soaking it all in. But let's see where things went wrong. He went for the 360, he crossing his legs, but he just didn't get a good grip on the bike to pull it back underneath of him, and he's really lucky that he was able to ride it rubber side down.
Yeah, just clipping that back wheel a little bit, had to dab that foot. Again, that was impressive that he managed to make it over. A little bit of a struggle bus there going over sets 3 and 4, but he pulls that one off, so he'll sit down there in the 6th place position with 43 flat and look to build that up here in round number 2. Coming your way next, making his 4th X Games appearance. He earned dirt silver as a rookie at X Games 2021. This is Lodi, California's Bryce Tryon, set to take his first attempt.
Bryce has been riding so good lately. So many different tricks. The double backflip. Landing it. Oh, he's got a sacrifice pushing through on that one. He actually landed low, surprisingly. Let's see if he can reel it back in and salvage this one, at least learn a little something from it.
Yeah, you could see on that first landing there that he went just a little bit deep. But going back to what I was talking about earlier, the riders were mentioning that yesterday. You could see that flag up on top of the roll, and it is a tailwind. So you were telling me yesterday that they were having to slow down and just kind of take it easy coming down that rolling because the first set would overshoot you a little bit.
Yeah, it's a huge roll-in. I mean, this first jump is one of the biggest jumps we've seen at X Games for BMX Dirt. The guys have adapted to it. They learned it. As you can see, they're not holding back anymore at all.
Get another run,
So a 59.33. You're absolutely, Bryce. You do have another run. Remember, it is the best of your 2 runs that count. Top 8 moving on. So you'll see the bubble now. What does that mean? Top 8 move on. So Brian Fox sitting in that transfer spot right now in number 8 with a 39.66. Last time saw him in BMX Dirt here at the X Games was last year. His rookie appearance. This is Argentina's Gabriel Chavez.
So Gabi has such an amazing style. He's got such an aggressive, you know, the way he kicks the bike around and maneuvers the bike, and it looks so good as he does it. Look at that front flip, pedaling, getting some extra speed to a backflip can-can on the 3rd set. That's really hard to do. And he did the 360 whip to whip back. That was so good and clean over that last set.
Used to have a job doing construction, but now he rides full-time, and that's paying off because look what he put down here in run number 1 here. In Thayer's BMX Dirt Elimination. Let's take another look.
Yeah, I love the variety that he brings to his runs, especially the way he was able to sneak in this backflip can-can over that long and low, and then to do the 360 whip to tail it back. Look at that, you kicking it with the one foot, you know, you're not putting the other foot back on, and then you're spinning around the bike because it turns into like that 360 downside whip, but man, that was awesome.
You were a fan, living the reaction cam. That's something we haven't had in the booth here in a couple of years as well. We got fans back in the house, and we got the react cam as well. Speaking of reaction, let's see what Gabriel thinks of that run. 63.66, that'll get him in the top 8 for now. Put him in the number 6 position. We can't stress that enough. Here in elimination, it's just about getting into that final. Yes, positioning is important, but the name of the game today, you just want to be one of those top 8. Daniel Sandoval due up next. He has 6 X Games medals, 5 in park, 1 in park best trick.
And he has the tricks to be able to do it. He's going to make my job really hard. He does a lot of technical combinations. Look at that. He just did the trick that Gabi did. Look at it on the 2nd set. 360 double downside tail whip into the cork 7 bars. Man, that was beautiful. I love the way he spun the bars early and like laid out the bike. Man, that was nice.
You know, that's the thing. I mean, he's got an impressive arsenal of tricks, but the thing with dirt, like, you have to have that continuity, and you have to link them up, and it's all about the landings, and you have to make everything look good. I mean, he looked extremely solid in practice. Let's take another look in flow motion.
Yeah, so you can see he's doing the truck driver, which is a 360 bar spin, and then he kicks a late downside tail up, and that's what his specialty is, sneaking in bar spin and tail up combinations both directions. But here's that inverted bar spin 720. I love how he just flattens out, opens up, and just slows the rotation, looks over his shoulder for the landing. It looks so confident and clean.
Andy Buckworth likes it as well. And as we mentioned before, I mean, Sandoval is competing in basically every BMX event this weekend with the exception of street. So that's 5 different comps that he's looking at out here. And again, it's taken a little bit for that score to come in right here. So that tells me there's a little bit of a conversation going on in that judging booth. What do you think they're talking about right now?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it was going over his runs, you know, seeing exactly which tricks he was doing for what set, seeing if he looked like he was trying to add something else, if he held back at all.
So he's going to have to settle for 4th. Let's take a look at Mike Varga. But first, let's hear from the man himself.
So last year I started from small jumps to big jumps, but now we got a big drop in going to, I think it's a 28 footer, so massive first jump. And it gets a little smaller as we go. We got a long and low as the 3rd jump, and then the last jump's basically a trick jump, so it's a little bit smaller than, you know, the first one, stuff like that, but it's a better one to just kind of send it on, right?
So we talked about the jump, so there you go. Mike Varga breaking it down for you right there. He just missed the podium in this event last year. He had to settle for 4th.
Oh, and he's got the tricks for it. 720, no-hander over the first. Backward bar spin, a little bit of a tag, but see if he can salvage this one. Nice, 720 tail whip just with the last set.
Casually sets that one down, back tire first right there, rides away again, like you said. Looking like he was struggling a bit to maintain speed there towards the end, but that was a heck of a save by Mike Varga.
Yeah, to be able to get a full pull is very important, especially when they're taking top 8, because it's going to be close at that point right there where they're going to be deciding. It could be something as simple as him taking that risk of trying to continue his run and not holding back. See, that foot bar spin was perfect, but that's where he tagged at. His back wheel hit the top of that landing. But this is where he came through. 720 tail is a very technical trick. You will not see many, if any, people do that today besides Mike Varga.
You know, and he's risen through the ranks over the years of competing in dirt. In 2017, he got 11th. 2018 in Minnesota, he got 6th. 2019, 5th place. And like I said, he just missed the podium at Axel Hodges' compound last year. Had to settle for 4th. But look at that, an 81 in round 1 here for Mike Varga. That puts him in the number 3 spot, which is key because only the half of the field is going to advance into tomorrow's final. Ryan Williams, we talked about him at the top of the show. We've seen him in Dirt Best Trick. We've seen him in Park Best Trick. We've seen him in Big Air and in Mega Park. This is the first time we've seen him in BMX Dirt, and this man is hyper-focused right now. He's competing in multiple events, and he looked amazing in practice yesterday.
Ryan Williams, what can you say about this guy besides he is just different? Look at that double front flip over the first set! Front flip, no-hander. Straight front flip.
What over the last with a double backflip. Okay, yesterday in practice he was doing this run where it was 3 front flips in a row and then a backflip setting up for that. We saw him do the double front a couple of times on that first hit, but my goodness.
Ryan Williams is he's just different. That's all I can say.
That's just an understatement.
I can't even tell you how crazy.
Watch
the first
this.
set, a double front flip. Listen, I can't explain to you how rare this trick is right here. Nobody wants to do that trick, especially on a dirt jump. Maybe if you're on some kind of long flat thing, but not something straight like that.
It's the no-handed version right there. Going into set, this is the last hit.
Yeah, this is the last one he did the double backflip in, and look at him just
look at the facial expression, hanging on, tucked into the bars right there. The best, too, is when you see him put down a run, the reaction that he has, and just the way that he fires everybody up.
Look at me. Look what he does to me.
Oh, what's it going to be here for Ryan Williams? Again, he's already got a Mega Park gold out at Elliott Sloan Yard, an 83.66, so that should put him in that number 2 spot, and it does. Again, his first time ever competing BMX Dirt, and as of right now, he is in the number 2 spot, just behind his countryman, Andy Buckworth. So with another run still to come, take a look at Logan Martin, who's been extremely dominant in BMX Park. He also owns a gold medal in this event as well.
A nice flip bar spin to late no-hander, 720 bar spin over the second set. Front flip tuck in the third, and a switch triple whip.
I mean, he is so dialed and everything just looks so smooth and so fluid.
That's just what he does. Logan is a machine. That's what he's known as, right? He's the machine. Everything he does is perfect. It's all calculated. It's never being thrown out there, just hoping he lands it. It's all going to be exactly the way he wanted to do it. So you can see a front flip tuck over the long and low, going into the last set right here. So when I say switch whip, this is the opposite direction that he would normally do it. So he did 3 tail whips right there, which is a super hard trick. I mean, we've only seen one other triple tail whip today, and that was the regular direction. So
I mentioned he has a gold medalist event. He got it in Minneapolis in 2019. That year, he actually won park and dirt on the exact same day back there at US Bank Stadium. He's 4 out of 5 when it comes to dirt and making the podium. He's only missed it 1 time, and that was X Games Sydney in 2018. And guess what? He finds himself in the top spot right now with an 86.66. So look at that, your top 3 spots right now. It's all Australians. Logan Martin, Andy Buckworth, and Ryan Williams. And we still got Brady Baker in there, our dirt rookie right there in that number 4 spot as we bring in Jay Toohey.
Oh, that was huge. Flip Superman into a triple tail whip. Watch Jay's feet. He switches feet multiple times so far. And then nothing from right flip over the last set right there.
You know, and to tell this guy's story, it's been a long time coming. He got a dirt best trick medal in 2021. He came in last year with an injured shoulder, got a Mega Park bronze, got a dirt silver. I mean, the guy has been on a roll the last several years, and deservedly so in that run. Jay Toohey picking up where he left off in 2022.
Right. So if you see his feet, his left foot forward, but if you watch the rest of the tricks, before these two, there was right foot forward in that. So but look at that, nothing from bike flip, letting that bike flip around, letting it clear past your face. You can see left foot forward right here, and watch when he lands, he actually switches his feet, goes to right foot forward, which he's the only person that does that. And he does that for his tail ups majority of the time. When he wants to do straight tail ups, he'll switch his feet that way.
Well, this will be interesting here. The bubble spot right now for 8th place is a 73.66. That's Caden Stone, who got us started. So we'll see what happens here with Jay Toohey. He needs an 86.66 or better to overtake Logan Martin. You just need a 73.66 or better right now to jump into that top 8. We have 1 rider left to go in this round. And then we go into run number 2. And it is only 2 runs here in Thayer's BMX Dirt Elimination. So again, taking a while for that score to come in. Talking about last year with that shoulder injury, he's feeling 100% this year, and an 85 flat that puts Jay Toohey in that number 2 spot. So now that's Daniel Sandoval sitting on the bubble spot for the transfer with a 75.33. There's an Australian sitting in the top 4 spots right now. But coming your way right now, we talked about him at the top of the show. This is your defending gold medalist. He's won this event twice. He took gold in Sydney in 2018, and he took gold last year at Axel Hodges compound. This is Poland's David Godziak.
Starting things off with the twister over the first set. Perfect. Into a triple whip. Into a cash roll. And finish things off with the front flip tuck right there. So I want to bring up one thing. I want to talk about Ryan Williams' run, and I also want to compare it to Godziak's run at the same time. So Ryan Williams, I think a lot of people that are watching are seeing his score and being a little bit confused on why he's so far down there after he did a double front flip and the double back flip, right? Ryan did a double front flip into a front flip into another front flip, and the judges, I think, want to see variety. They want to see different style of tricks and not the same thing repetitive. So I'm curious to see what they do about multiple cash roll lines in one run, having the twister over the first and the cash roll over the other one. So I'm curious to see right now, but.
So we are about to find out here. So your top 3 scores, actually your top 7 scores in the 80s, 90.33. So your defending gold medalist finds himself in the top spot at the end of round number 1. So now that transfer spot is Leandro Moreira. So you need an 80 or better to jump into that top 8 as of right now. So the only rider to score into the 90s, your defending gold medalist, sitting in the top spot here. Welcome back, everyone. X Games 2023 in its new home along the coast here in Ventura, California. Here in Thayer's BMX Dirt Elimination, we've completed round number 1 out of 2. Top 8 moving on to the finals. And at the end of that first round, it's your defending gold medalist from last year, David Godziak, sitting in the top spot here with a 90.33. However, there is one more round of runs still to go here in Thayer's BMX Dirt Elimination. So this is far from over. Top 8 moving on. Before we get to round 2, let's check in one more time with Kristen Beat.
Yeah, and Andy Buckworth audibly said after his scores came in, what? You looked surprised at the strength of your run.
Yeah, I guess in action sports, we're our own biggest critic, you know, like we've all been through so many injuries and so much hardship, and we pour our life and soul into this sport, and it really is blood, sweat, and tears. So we think every rider is just better than ourselves, and like everybody out here, all 16 riders, they're all podium guys. All of them deserve to be in that top 8. Everyone's run is different and more crazy than the next. So when, you know, you can only do the best that you can do, you try to choreograph a run that you think is going to be good enough. So to come in the top spot, you're like, whoa, that's crazy. And then to see other crazy runs like Ryan Williams and David Godziak, it's like, whoa, what an honor to be up on the deck riding with them, to say the least, and then to qualify or to position yourself ahead of them. It's insane. Like I said, we're our own biggest critic, so to see that is insane.
Andy Buckworth is a 2-time X Games medalist looking for his 3rd here in Dirt.
Yeah, I mean, the parity in the field here in Dirt is insane. I mean, you could run this contest with these same guys 3 different days and probably have 3 different results. And as we mentioned earlier, there's a very short list of people over the years that this event's been contested here that have won it more than once. So we go back up to the top of the order here with Caden Stone, one of our X Games rookies. He was in the top 8. He now finds himself 2 spots on the outside looking in that number 10 position here. He had a 73.66. He had a great run to start it off, but he needs a little bit more here, Scotty, to jump up here a couple more spots.
Yeah, he did, and he's doing it for Pat Casey right now, and that's what really matters. Look at that. Oh, he's got that twister. Oh, it's a little bit too much. He over-rotated.
That was a heck of a save right there, because that could have been real bad. He could have gotten thrown over the bars on that one. So for him to essentially ride away from that. But I mean, he did so well. He was nervous going into Mega Park, and he got better as that comp went on, and to be the first guy out of the gate here in Dirt Elimination.
Yeah, and 2 runs is really hard when you're coming in as a rookie into a dirt competition like this. So when it's that format, when it's only 2 runs and best run counts, it's really, really difficult to be able to stomp your very best run.
So now we turn our attention here to Declan Brooks. As I mentioned before, we typically see him in BMX Park making his first dirt appearance here today.
Beautiful. Court 7 no-hander. Front flip Superman again. He's got that speed and momentum. 361 handed X. And then the double backflip. That was awesome. That is an upgrade from the last one. He did the front flip tail whip in his first run, and that time sending the double backflip, especially coming off of, you know, a full run like that. Really, really impressive. But look at that. It's inverted, taking his hands off, hoping to get that rotation, trying to muscle it around. Front flip Superman on the second one, pointing those toes straight out. And then sending that double flip right there. And that's a scary one over a jump like that, because it's like a step up and you're trying to work with whatever speed you have, and you're hoping for the best, that you have the right momentum and you know, amplitude to get over it.
So you need an 80, you need better than an 80 to get into the top 8 there. That's the bubble spot right now. That's Leandro Moreira sitting in that spot here. So he is going to get a 76 flat, and that's going to put him in that number 9 spot. So almost, but not quite. He overtakes Daniel Sandoval. So Declan Brooks not going to make it in here in Thayer's BMX Dirt Elimination. Brady Baker, he still sits in that top 8 for now. He's in that number 6 spot. Another one of our X Games rookies out here today at Dirt Elimination.
Oh, Brady's been... Oh, we did the flip triple whip that time! Into the bar spin cash roll. Are you kidding me, Brady? Truck driver, what's he going to end with?
Just has to get over one more set.
720 bar spin.
Again with the super casual. I'm going to throw my bars right now.
Wow. Yeah, that deserves a reaction from me right there. That was amazing.
You can hear the reaction down here in the athlete staging area.
Unbelievable. first set. Let's count them together right here. Look at that. One coming around, two. That third one, he's like almost, to the point where he's about to land, and he catches it. Oh, that was something else. He actually upgraded his run, which was so impressive to me, man. Because his first run was really, really good.
The bar 7 at the end, just the lateness when he throws the bars.
I guess I'll come out here and say that I didn't teach him any of that, okay? Oh my goodness, I was just like so focused on that run.
I forget the react cams there half the time when we're staring at the monitor. So what's going to be? He had an 83 flat the first go around, had him in 6th place. He was already in the top 8. Does he give himself a little bit of breathing room here? It's an 85 or better if you're going to jump into the top 3. But today's task is just trying to get into that top 8 to move on into the final here. But what a performance that he is having out here today.
91.33.
Yeah. So he's going to overtake David Gaziak by a full point right there. The X Games rookie finds himself in the driver's seat.
I can't believe it. Just think about it. Like, this kid used to ride with me when he was 10 years old at my skate park when I was training for the X Games, and now he's at his first X Games and he's currently in the lead. That's insane.
We are in the middle of round 2 here. Thayer's BMX Dirt Elimination. This is the second and final round. These riders each get 2 attempts to try to impress the judges using a 100-point scale. Top 8 moving on into that final. We just saw an X Games rookie move up into the top position with a 91.33. Andy Buckworth sitting in that number 5 spot with an 84 flat.
So Andy is going to be bringing the heat right now for sure. Look at that, turn down double backflip this time. Oh, but his foot came off. Oh, that's a tricky one right there because you have so much momentum spinning with that double backflip. When you cross up the bike and you do that turn down, your body, it moves around behind the bike, and that will actually upset your feet on the pedals.
So what do you think with that number 5 spot there with an 84 flat?
It's a scary one.
I think that one's going to be close.
It's a scary one.
I mean, it's so hard to tell in this event.
I
There's
know.
so many talented riders. Let's talk again here in round 2 just to recap the judging criteria for those who may have just joined us here, Scotty.
Yeah, so we got difficulty and amplitude, use of course and flow, originality. Variety and execution of tricks, I think, is the most important one that we're seeing with the judges today, especially showing Brady Baker's run. He was able to bring a bunch of different angles of BMX. He did the flip tricks, he did the spin tricks, he did the front flip tricks, he did it all, and the judges rewarded him.
Okay, so Brian Fox looking for some redemption there, had a slip up there in round number 1, finds him in the number 15 spot for now, in for his second and final run.
It's not that double backflip again, the flip whip, come on Brian, pull through it. He's got it this time.
One more hit to go.
And the 280.
3 times around there at the end for Brian Fox.
Wow. Oh, he is feeling it. I know that this dirt competition, riding this again, knowing that he was going to have to face that double backflip again, was hard for him. And to be able to stomp that run the way he did and end it the way he did, oh, he's got to feel like $1 million right now. Just look at, there's the double backflip. This is the one that he ended up, fracturing his back on. So he's been stressing about this one over a big jump like this, but he's so good at doing double backflips. He's landed thousands of them before that one took him out. But look at this 1080. He's got such a great spin. He's a goofy footed rider, meaning that his left foot forward and he spins to the left, and it just drops perfectly in that rotation.
Well,
kind of like Ryan Nyquist used to.
39.66 that had him down there in that number 15 spot. This is going to get him out of the basement. And go back to your point you made about that fractured T12 vertebrae. I mean, it hasn't even been a year of recovery yet, and he's back out here at the X Games. So you need better than an 80 flat to jump in. And that's going to do it. That's going to get him in that number 7 spot with an 81.66 right there. He's done it for now. The question is, as we roll through the rest of the run order, is it going to hold up? So now that puts Mike Varga in that bubble spot. So taking a look at Mike Varga right there. He's in that number 8 spot with an 81 flat. He still has a second run coming, but right now, it's time for Leandro Morera, who now finds himself 1 spot on the outside looking in. He transfers down to that number 9 spot with an 80 flat here.
Leandro's got so much style. Let's see, flip Superman to late turn down. That was awesome. I love his 360 double whips, the way he kicks that bike out like that. He's ending this one off with a triple tail whip. So he's got 2 full pulls on here, but that's no surprise. I mean, he is one of the best dirt riders in the world. Like, just natural, just ability to ride trails.
So what do you think? I mean, right now you're looking at an 81 there with Varga holding on to that spot. Let's take another look. Watch this first one. With the late turn down and clicks into it fully. There was no hesitation on that at all.
Such a cool combination. I said it before about the 360 double whip. He leaves that bike all the way out there till the last second. And he sent the triple tail as well over the last one, landing it perfectly to the pedals, riding away as clean as could be.
Get a full appreciation of that last hit right there, courtesy of Flow Motion here at X Games 2023. So again, he's knocking on the door. He just needs a point and some change more to jump back into that top 8. There's still quite a few riders left to go here in round number 2. So it's Mike Vargas sitting in the bubble spot for now with an 81 as we await the score here. Again, it's a 100-point scale, 2 runs, best run that counts, and he is going to get a 78, so that is not going to be enough. So he will settle for 9th here. We take our second and final look here to Tehachapi, California's Jake Leyva. He's down there in the number 16 spot after some slip-ups in round number 1.
There's that flip tail, double tail whip. It is the 3 double downside whip that he got past this time around. Nice 360 Superman. And then a 720 whip.
Oh, the last one too. That's such a heartbreaker there.
Oh, that was so close to a full pull. But just look at these replays. He does his backflip double tail ups. He stays upside down for so long. He doesn't go to his side at all. He stays perfectly straight. But this is where it went wrong. He sent the 720 tail up, but you can see his rotation just got funky. Like he wasn't able to get the bike back underneath the boom. He's just kind of spinning like with his access off, and he had no other choice but to slide down the landing.
Well, we do have to give him congratulations. They just had his second son, Chase Wayne Leyva, who was just born on July 14th. So congratulations to the Leyva family there. Unfortunately, he's going to settle for that number 15 spot. We move on here to Kevin Peraza. Kevin Peraza is on the outside looking in right now as well after a slip up in that first run. He finds himself in that number 16 position.
Oh, nice. Switching up, doing the in-down out of the 360 whip. 360 double down, but he missed his feet. Oh.
That's something you don't usually see out of Kevin.
Yeah,
he's pretty consistent.
Did you see that? That was very rare. Wow, and you know, that just goes to show how even Kevin Peraza, man, like when you have 2 runs like that that don't go as planned, you know, it's hard. It's really difficult, but this is where things went wrong. He did the 360 double downside whip. It looked right, but his foot just couldn't find the bike to be able to command it back down, and he had to ride down on the top tube right there, which is not pleasant at all.
Well, you'll see plenty of him this weekend. He's still got park to ride in. He's riding in street as well.
And
so
good
there's
news,
that smile.
The smile is back. It was a short-lived frown, and I'm glad. And everybody else, all the other riders are glad to see it as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what he does in the park competition. I caught a little snippet of him riding yesterday in practice, so I'm really excited to see what he does when it comes to BMX Park coming up tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
For Pat.
So Bryce Tryon, you heard him say right there, this one's for Pat. Of course, we've talked about it a couple times in the BMX events we've seen already. The loss of Pat Casey earlier this year. All of these guys riding for Pat out here this weekend.
Sending the double backflip over the first, into the front flip bar spin to tuck no hander. He's going into another front flip. Oh no!
Oh, that was bad.
You see, he just leaning forward, gets tossed over the bars on that one. It's tough for these guys down here in the staging area because they can't really see that far down course. We have X Games Medical out there tending to Bryce Tryon right now. So you can hear the applause from the fans. Looks like he's sitting upright as of right now. I mean, it just goes to show you, I mean, when you're doing the caliber of tricks that these riders are doing and you're trying to combine them back to back to back into 4 different jumps like that, I mean, you're putting it all on the line with each and every run out here, Scotty.
Yeah, you really are. And I think the second jump, when he did that front flip bar spin to tuck no-hander, he landed a little bit low and over-rotated. He didn't have much speed. And I don't even think that front flip was part of the plan on that jump that he crashed on. I think that he knew he didn't have a lot of speed, and he was trying to push through and be able to salvage that run. And it just wasn't a good gamble. The risk and the reward, you know, for situations like that. You know, I've been in this situation where I'm trying to push through. I want to get a run. Things aren't working, but you kind of roll the dice, and I'm just glad to see him up on his feet right now.
Yeah, just got to take a beat. You know, obviously, X Games Medical takes every precaution to ensure the safety and well-being of the athletes. So just take a beat to collect yourself. But great to see him up and walking away under his own power after that one.
So he's with his family right now. It's always scary to see. I always felt bad for my family, you know, over the years. All the scary moments I put them through. You know, you got to give credit to the BMX family for you know, supporting, you know, the kids to ride BMX, and it's a tough sport. It really is, but it's a sport that we love.
So good to see Bryce up and walking away under his own power as we move on here to Gabriel Chavez again here from Argentina. Gabriel sitting in 13th as of right now. So again, just to recap, it's an 81 or better to get you into that top 8 here as we move into the latter half of the run order.
So kicks off with the flip whip into the double backflip. That's huge mid-set. Front flip over the third. 360 whip, downside whip, but this time he didn't get it.
Just washes out a little bit on that one. You can see the frustration. He was right there. It was so close, Scotty.
Oh, that was right there. It was, man, like, to see a replay of that, to see exactly what went wrong, but it looked like he was trying to be able to push through and get that one, but it's a big jump. But look, he started things off with that flip whip. It looked like he was setting up
wanted another combo in there.
It looked like he was.
He's trying to throw a late turn down in there or throw the bars on. You can see by that body language, he wanted another combo in that one, so he'll have to settle with a 50. So tough break there, Gabriel.
I just know that Gabi Chavez is just so happy to be here at X Games, being able to ride with all the best riders in the world, represent his country.
So we're in the second and final round of runs here in Thayer's BMX Dirt Elimination. 16 riders in the field, the top 8 moving on into Saturday's final. It's an X Games rookie, Brady Baker, sitting in the top spot right now with a 91.33 as we look up top of the rolling at Daniel Sandoval. He was in that top 8 by virtue of what we've seen here in the latter half of round 1, and here in round 2, he now finds himself 3 spots out of that top 8 in that number 11 position. He's got the firepower, he's got the tricks to do it.
He's just got to put it all together, and that's the hardest part of this. Oh, look at that. Drop to down whip to bar spin. 360 double whip to down whip. 360 downside double tail whip. No.
You can see the reaction from Andy Buckworth.
Oh my goodness, that run was building up to be something that could have taken over the lead right there. The technical aspect of it, he just did in there. And the trick that he ended up crashing on was a trick that, like, pretty much, it's like his signature trick. It's like an underflip, kind of like nosedive 360 Superman sea crab.
It was going so damn good.
So we'll check in with Kristen here once again before we get to the score here for Mr. Sandoval.
Yeah, just a quick note on Bryce Tryon. I asked him how he's doing. He actually said with a smile, "I am okay." Pointed at his face. He said, "I'm just a little scratched up, but guys, he is doing well," with a smile on his face, surprisingly, after that big get off.
Yeah, you can see on the right side there, he was pretty dusted up and had some scratches on his face, but at least he's smiling and walking away under his own power there. So tough break for Daniel Sandoval in the end. It's going to keep him that number 11 spot. So right now, here's a guy that needs to give himself a little bit of breathing room. He's in that 8th and final spot for now. but he would love to jump up here. We're going to see him in Park Best Trick later on this weekend. Right now, he's trying to make that dirt final. It's Mike Varga.
Here's Varga. Nice 720 no-hander again. Back for bar spin. Front flip tuck over the third. And he sent the 720 whip again, but he just couldn't get it back underneath of him.
He's in for now, but man, you wanted to give yourself that breathing room.
So if we do our math, is he technically in? Does he make it in right now?
Yeah, that's just the run order there. So
yeah, so if that's the run order, if you look who else is next, needs to go in. It looks like everybody's
so he
in
will
there, right?
Get it. So
he
everybody
made it.
after him.
Awesome.
So Mike is going to be safe there. This is after you got Ryan Williams, Logan Martin, J2, and then David Godziak.
Oh, it's...
So that will hold up. So he will hang on because everyone else that's left in the rotation is ahead of him in the standings. So Mike Varga will move on into the final. We've got Ryan Williams coming up next. Well, this year has been filled with highs and lows for Mr. Williams. Let's find out more about his mindset coming into this X Games in this Discover More presented by Pacifico.
I'm Ryan Williams, I'm 29 years old, and I'm from the Sunshine Coast in Australia.
Ryan Williams, he has an arsenal of tricks.
I recently competed at the X Games in Japan, and I managed to win my first ever gold medal in Park Best Trick.
That's a Flair 900. That's BMX history right there.
I owe that all to my best friend Luke Berlin, who recently passed away due to mental illness. He really made me believe in myself during the training for that.
That's it!
Let's go, Willie! Oh. I want to carry that confidence that he gave me into X Games California. I know that he wouldn't want me to sit around being sad. He'd want me to go out there and do my best and have as much fun as I possibly can. So this one's going to be for my best friend, Luke Berlin.
Well, he's already earned himself a gold medal at this X Games thus far in Monster Energy BMX Mega Park. He's actually wearing Luke's helmet. He told us when we were doing Mega Park that he's wearing that helmet the entire weekend out here, and that is some of the driving force, the dedication behind his mindset at this X Games as we take a look at his second run.
Oh, he's sending the double front flip again. He did the front flip inward. Drive flip right there. So that is a trick that was a scooter trick that he was able to bring over onto a BMX bike, and it's crazy looking.
A little bit of a snippet as to what you might see in the final.
And he's walking a little bit like Nature Boy right now.
He got hobbled a little bit on that one. So, as I mentioned earlier, he's competing in 4 different events out here. This is the first time he's ever competed at the X Games in BMX Dirt, and he has earned himself a spot in that final going into tomorrow.
Oh, but look at this double front flip. I mean, to me, this is the trick of the competition. A double front flip is as serious as it gets, and to be able to carry that momentum, be able to stop it, be able to control it is nuts. But here's where it went wrong. There's that front inward bride flip, but he just didn't have the right rotation. It was a little bit far down the landing. If he would have stuck that thing, he could have really paid the price on that one.
I mean, look at that.
I'm going to be doing that again multiple times during this weekend while Ryan Williams is on the course. I can promise you that.
I'm still going to send it.
Yeah, there you go. I said you might a little snippet to what you might see in the finals. Well, there you go.
That goes up school, right?
He says, I'm still going to send it.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll say it again. BMX is really lucky to have him.
His energy, his attitude is just off the charts. Here we go with Logan Martin. He's sitting in that number 3 spot, so we'll see him in the final.
Oh, look at that. He upped it this time, doing the double bar spin in the 720. Front flip tug on the last set. Switch triple tug again.
So, again, with only a handful of riders left to go and everybody in. This is all about jockeying for that position. We run them in reverse order as to how they qualify going into the final. So at this point, you're getting some teasers as to what we're going to see in that final, and this is about what place you go in and where you're going to have to ride.
Absolutely. So Logan doing that backflip bar spin to lay tuck and hander, but this is the big trick right here. 720 bar spin, pausing, getting the rotation, and then sending the second bar spin around. That is a huge, huge trick. And this is the last set where we were talking earlier, the switch triple tail whip. So that tail whip spinning the opposite direction that he's normally used to doing. And it's a whole new world, let me just tell you that.
So he had an 86.6. I mean, there's only 2 riders in the 90s. You got your defending gold medalist, David Godziak, with a 93.3. You got your X Games rookie, Brady Baker, sitting in that top spot with a 91.33. And then Logan's in that number 3 spot, pre-run, 86.66. So he gets into the 90s at 90.66. So he's going to overtake David Godziak and go into that number 2 spot for now. Remember, by being the defending gold medalist, David gets to ride last. So he'll get a chance to answer back. Jay Tui coming out of this event last year with a silver medal. We'll see him in the final as well. He sits in that number 4 position.
Jay Tui just signing with Monster Energy. He's having an awesome weekend so far. There we go, sending the triple whip over it. Nice underflip. Bumping front bike flip to Superman, extending his body completely off of the bike at the end.
Did you see how he stretched that?
That's unbelievable. And just think about that, like, when he catches that bike with the grips, he needs to pull it back underneath him, but this time he's focusing on trying to push the body out while putting the bike underneath him. That's crazy. The triple tail up again, like I said, if you look at his feet, they were right from forward that time.
You know, again, coming out, he got a medal in Monster Energy BMX Mega Park already this weekend. He got a bronze there.
Yeah, he's having a great weekend. There's no doubt about it. And I know he's so excited to have the opportunity to show up in the final. And he's already there, so.
So it all comes down to this last run. Again, our top 8 are set. It's a rookie sitting in the top spot for now. David Godziak gets to end the party here. They're the last chance to answer back for placement going into the final.
Nice. 360 triple bar spin. It looks like he's keeping a little bit tame on this one. I mean, as I say that, he goes and throws the casual bar spin to look like a one-footer, maybe like a knack-knack or something. I'm not too familiar with that trick.
Maybe he's trying to slow that one down because it was getting away from him. I don't know, but your defending gold medalist is going to have to settle for that number 3 spot. So how about that? We talked about rookies. It's been rough in BMX Dirt for the rookies, and over the years, only 7 have ever medaled. Well, we got a rookie that qualified number 1. It's Brady Baker.
Absolutely unbelievable that Brady is here on the top spot. I am so proud of him. I'm so grateful that he finally got his opportunity to shine in front of the BMX community.
You know, I mean, look at that. Mike Varga hangs on. Brian Fox looking for some redemption, gets it done and qualifies number 7. Ryan Williams, Andy Buckworth, Jay Tui, David Godziak, Logan Martin, and how about that? Brady Baker, your number 1 qualifier. So let's check in one more time with Kristen Beat.
Brady, after your first run and your second run, the riders and the community of this sport giving you high fives, hugs, you don't see that often in sports. What does it mean to have that kind of support from your competitors?
It's so amazing. You know, I've looked up to all these guys my whole life, and to be out here at X Games on the same rolling, riding the same course, it's unreal. I'm just stoked to be here.
You also won the Nashville stop of the BMX Triple Challenge. For you, how much confidence did that give you coming into X Games?
Well, it gave me a lot of confidence. That was my first pro win, and it happened to be dirt. So, you know, it gave me a lot of confidence coming in here. The jumps are pretty similar setup, so I just gave it my best, you know.
It is so cool to see a rookie out here doing big things in Dirt Elimination, guys.
Yeah, what a performance. I mean, a 91.33. I mean, all 3 of our medalists from last year, they're in that final. Ryan Williams in his dirt debut, he comes in and he's going to make it into that final. I mean, what else can you say about that elimination round?
Well, one thing I'm going to say is the guys that are in here are going to put on an epic show when it comes to this final. And just judging from what we're seeing right here, these guys are landing consistent runs, and they're going to have the opportunity to up it, which is going to be insane. You don't want to miss it.
That is a wrap here for Thayer's BMX Dirt Elimination. However, X Games 2023 here in Ventura is just getting started. We've narrowed the field down to 8, and they'll do battle on these same jumps tomorrow. We have plenty more still to come when we return to X Games 2023.